Today we're looking at the topic of approved providers for your organisation's quality management system as defined by ISO 9001-2015. We're going to look at the following aspects. What is an approved provider? Why do you need an approved providers list? And what could happen if you don't have one? What process do you need to go through to approve a provider? A brief overview of non-conformance reports and when they should be used. How might you fail an audit with regard to approved providers? And how can I receive further help from QMS? So what is an approved provider? An approved provider is a supplier that has met the criteria you have preset as detailed in your quality manual regarding the quality of its product or service. Some examples of criteria can include, but are not limited to, the following: quality of product or service, historical supply performance, supply availability, ISO 9001, 14001, 45001 or 27001 certifications, price, technical competence, and client requirement. The important thing is that your provider isn't just anyone who you found in the phone directory, but is an organisation you can trust to produce a high-quality product or service, a product that your organisation will be proud to pass on to your customers. ISO 9001-2015 states that the organisation shall determine and apply criteria for the evaluation, selection, monitoring of performance and re-evaluation of external providers based on their ability to provide processes or products and services in accordance with requirements. The organisation shall retain documented information of these activities and any necessary actions arising from the evaluations. The definition of a provider or supplier, according to ISO 9000-2015, is an organisation that provides a product or a service. This includes contractors. A provider may be external but can also be internal. Whilst a provider can be internal, in this video we will only be discussing approval of external providers. It should be noted that an approved provider list is to be used for suppliers whose product or service is of significant use to your organisation. For example, a stationery supplier would not be essential to list unless your organisation's main focus is stationery. Why do you need an approved providers list? What could happen if you don't have one? The reason your organisation is required to hold an approved provider list is twofold. Firstly, the process of approving the provider ensures and documents that your organisation is happy with the services and products you are receiving, enabling you to be confident you have done your best to ensure the supplied goods or services are of a high quality. Remember, the quality of products and services you use will reflect in your own end products and services. The list ensures staff, including new or temporary members of staff, reorder the product or service from a provider your organisation has approved, thereby minimising the risk of inferior quality. Let's take a look at an example. Your organisation is called Quality IT Services Limited. Your aim is to produce high-quality computers to an ever-growing client base. You have Mabel in accounts, who has been with your organisation 25 years, who knows all the providers your organisation orders its computer components from. However, Mabel decides to retire, and Charlotte is employed to take over from her. Charlotte is required to pick up where Mabel left off, but doesn't use the list of approved providers. No one tells her that it exists. Charlotte is now left trying to source your organisation's computer components, not knowing the reasons behind why Mabel used the providers she did. Charlotte chooses to use a provider of computer components which has lower production standards than the organisation Mabel used. She is happy with herself because she has found the same components for half the price. She orders 20,000 components and production of your computers continues. A month or two down the line, your customer service department receives a high call volume of dissatisfied customers with computers that don't work, all describing similar problems. Customers return the computers under warranty and they are handed to your technical support team for assessment. All the while, Charlotte is reordering the components from the same provider. New computers are shipped to those customers, potentially with the same problem. After many hours of research, technical support reports back to you describing they have found that the same component in all your machines appears to be faulty. You head over to accounts to ask where the supply of the component has been sourced, only to discover the new employee, Charlotte, has been sourcing them from somewhere that has a reputation for producing a low grade of component. Why was this? Because your organisation did not make her aware of the approved provider list. A lot of time and money could have been saved if Charlotte had been told that Quality IT Services had an approved provider list in place. Unfortunately, this mistake may now have cost the organisation many future customers. What process do you need to go through to approve a provider? Following your initial consultancy for ISO 9001-2015, you will receive your quality manual detailing in section 8.4, as discussed and agreed with your organisation, the criteria under which you approve all your providers. You will also receive this provider quality assessment template, which, if you wish, you can adapt for your organisation and send out to your providers for completion. Each provider completes the questionnaire and returns it to you for your approval. If the provider is already certified to ISO 9001, they do not need to complete the second page of the form. If they are not ISO 9001 certified, they are required to complete the entire form. Upon receipt and assessment of the form, you sign to approve you as an organisation are content that the provider meets your criteria for producing a high quality product or service. Once approved, the provider is then added to your organisation's approved provider list. Here you can list the provider's name, contact telephone, a brief description of what product or service they provide, the date you sent them the questionnaire, what criteria they meet from your quality manual, and finally the date you approved them as a provider. A brief overview of non-conformance reports and when they should be used. A non-conformance report is used when something has gone wrong within your management system. For instance, your organisation hasn't done a management review when it should have. It hasn't conducted customer satisfaction surveys. You realise a product you use is faulty, or perhaps your organisation has received a complaint against the quality of your product or service. It's important to use non-conformance reports or an equivalent methodology to demonstrate and document that your organisation is monitoring the quality of its management system. These will be requested to be shown during your annual surveillance audits. In our earlier example about our fictional organisation, Quality IT Services Limited, the quality manager, upon receiving complaints about the organisation's product and having used the organisation's identification and traceability procedures to locate the root cause, would have completed a non-conformance report. This form documents the nature of the non-conformance, the reason or cause of the non-conformance, corrective actions that will take place, the date they were actioned, and finally that the quality manual, if necessary, has been updated to reflect the changes. In our example, the quality manager would have documented that the reason for the complaint was faulty components. He would also document that the corrective procedure is to notify the provider of the components that the products are faulty and that quality IT services will no longer be using their organisation until they can prove that their components are no longer faulty. It would also be documented that the approved provider list must be used at all times in the future. For further information on non-conformance reports, please view our non-conformance training video included in this video series. How might you fail an audit with regard to approved providers? Issues which might cause you to fail an audit include provider quality assessment questionnaires not sent out, not returned or not assessed, unless the use of these questionnaires is not stipulated in your quality manual. No approved provider list is in place. Non-conformance reports are not completed when problems are identified with providers. Relevant documents are not retained. The quality manual is not updated to reflect changes described in your non-conformance reports. How can I receive further help from QMS? I hope you found this overview useful. You will find many other topics in our video series, but if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to call or email us on 01603 630 345 or email us on enquiries@qmsuk.com. QMS is here to support your organisation through every stage of certification. If at any point you have a question regarding approving your providers, please do not hesitate to contact us. QMS aims to make the process of ISO management system certification not only painless, but enjoyable as well. So we look forward to helping you to make your management system as useful to your organisation as it possibly can be. Thank you.